as opposed to saddling them with the L, if they would have joined the ticket with the vice president, or if they had replaced the vice president and become the nominee with 100 and some days out in a very difficult situation, I think you would have been weaker as a party for it.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, I think that if she loses and Donald Trump wins, there will be millions of people in this country who voted for her who will feel like we're in the state of an emergency. And I think that is how people will respond and feel. And they will be looking for hope, a resistance, and opposition. And there are a lot of people on the Democratic bench. You mentioned some of them were in the Veep stakes. We all, lived through this summer. Some of them were not, who I would expect would all be out there on everybody's shows in the coming days.
Well, and that's what makes the timing, I think, of President Biden's decision to step down after the debate something that, if she does in fact lose, will be under a microscope, because of course there was so much discussion even over the summer about potentially having an open primary and having that fight play out within the Democratic Party. So I think it's one of the big questions moving forward.
And you mentioned debate. We haven't really talked about that. There was no second debate. And, and you have to wonder how that affected the trajectory of this race, because by most accounts he didn't perform well in his first debate with Paris.
True. And I also think that it throws into question a lot of things. I mean, I think anybody who watched that debate objectively felt she outperformed him in that debate. If she doesn't win, yes, there should have been a second debate, but do debates matter? They should matter. They're the public being able to see the candidates. She has a far superior ground operation that has been invested in across the country. The Republican state parties, you can disagree with me here, of course, are falling apart in many states in the country. That will throw into question, does that matter? It should matter, but it will throw that into question. So, yes, not a second debate, not an opportunity for people to see them person to person. The first one definitely benefited her, but if she doesn't win, it didn't benefit her enough to put her in the White House.
Well, we've got a lot to talk about. We're still waiting on a lot of numbers from the battleground states and the road to 270. We'll be right back after this break.
She showed up in Wisconsin.
Of the battleground states, but again, her messaging, and we all noted this at the time, her closing messaging really focused on the issue of democracy, when polls showed issues like the economy, like reproductive rights, are really the top issues for voters. So that's undoubtedly.
Although in our exit polls, threat to democracy is
moment where he would not try to be his authentic self, which is, I'm a marauder, I'm a disruptor, I'm somebody who I'm going to be your fighter against everything you hate about government. I think he'll stay with that kind of theme tonight.
Let me ask Mark, is that how he ran? I mean, has he, let's treasure one more question further, has he made the process more coarse in general, the key to getting elected president?
Well, I think obviously he's got his own unique style, and he speaks in his language. But I also think, when we were talking about this earlier, I think Jim Messina was talking about it, that Democrats had made the decision to basically just campaign to be anti-Trump. And for the last 10 years, it's been primarily anti-Trump. I remember coming down the stairs with him as president-elect the first time in 2016, and I thought actually he gave a much more open speech to bringing the country together, because that was his first moment speaking as president-elect in 2016 in the wee hours over here at the Manhattan Hilton. And so it'll be interesting to see if he's going to hit on his campaign themes.
I mean, let's remember, we have seen him on the national stage for 8 years. I mean, I covered him in the White House. We covered him in the White House together. We covered him in the campaign. We know who this person is. He's been president before. He's been a presidential candidate before. And we know what his message tends to be. He's done it over and over in this campaign, and that is a message that is darker, that casts America as a dangerous place, a place that only he can fix. Somebody who, as we talk about rhetoric, just called Nancy Pelosi as crazy as a bedbug just recently, right? So let's just remember that that is, I think, some of the tone. Now, we may see tonight him look to make I'm not even going to say the word pivot, but perhaps extend an olive branch. Maybe. I mean, listen, we're not, I don't have a crystal ball, but I do think there's a pattern of history.
To that point, I mean, remember after the horrific assassination attempt against him, the Republican National Convention, and all of the reporting, in fact, everything that he was saying was,
He himself said it.
He said it, yes. He said, I am going to deliver a unifying speech. And it was for part of the speech, but then it quickly became a very familiar, almost speech that you would hear on the campaign trail.
Well, that's what he ran for, and is perhaps going to prevail on that very way of being. I don't know that he would have any incentive to change unless, you know, he had felt in the moment some magnanimity towards.
I will make one better prediction, though, Savannah.
Yeah.
I predict that he won't say that anybody cheated.
Well, but remember, though, even after he won election in 2016, he still made unfounded claims of voter fraud. So win or lose, it is something that he has a pattern of doing.
I remember in days after the 2016 election, he and his staff summoned network anchors, executives for an off-the-record meeting at Trump Tower, and it was off the record, so I won't go deeply into it, but to say we were under the impression it was going to be a reset meeting. It was not.
Well, and that, I think...
So you got chewed out?
You got chewed out.
Sounds like it. I'm like, let me leave. I wasn't there.
Between the lines on that one.
Yes, we were kind of told what time it was.
Yeah.
Well, just to speak to that, I mean, again, we don't have to rehash all of it here, and we're still waiting for Pennsylvania to be called, but he is somebody who has called journalists the enemies of the people. Just at a rally recently, he talked about being surrounded by bulletproof glass, and that if somebody wanted to come after him in a attempted assassination again, they'd have to shoot through the media first, and he'd be okay with that. His campaign tried to suggest that's not what he said, but that is the kind of language that we have heard from him consistently.
And remember how he launched his campaign vowing retribution. And in recent weeks and days, we've heard him talk about his political rivals as being the enemy from within. His vice presidential nominee, J.D. Vance, has spent a lot of time answering for that in interviews that he has done.
Well, just to bring everybody up to date, 1:30 on the East Coast, and we are awaiting Donald Trump, who's expected to speak at the Trump headquarters in West Palm Beach, Florida. Battlegrounds remain to be called, and so there still is a narrow path, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania for Kamala Harris. But the trend lines, and the reason you're hearing this tone from Democrats and Republicans alike, is the trend lines are indicating that it will be a Trump victory, but this has not been called yet. So you have the audience there waiting to hear from the former president. These are the uncalled battleground states. Those are the trend lines that we're talking about. Pennsylvania, a healthy Trump margin there with 94% of the vote in. Those states out west, Arizona and Nevada, we may not know about those for several hours now, and we are waiting. Wisconsin and Michigan kind of bringing up the rear there in terms of these Midwest, East Coast time zones. So we will continue to follow this, but Kamala Harris, I should mention, has gone home for the night. Cedric Richmond, who is the co-chair of the Harris campaign, came out and addressed the crowd at Howard University in Washington, D.C., letting them know that she would address them and address the country, he said, tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning. Well, it is Wednesday morning here on the East Coast, but in a few hours from now.
Yeah, and we should, it's worth noting in 2016, after his victory, he appeared in the 2 a.m. hour to make his remarks, and we are in the 1 a.m. hour, and we saw that motorcade a bit earlier crossing the bridge in West Palm. But we don't have any timing as to when we may hear.
Well, we know we won't hit traffic because of the hour and also the motorcade. But we are expecting him. And we've been talking about, you know, what tone he might strike. And also, I mean, Mark Lauder, you were there. You know him. If you, let's just pretend he listens to his advisors. What would you advise him to say tonight?
I would outline what we have to get done. And first off, we have 74 days, if I'm going off my quick math, before you actually take the oath of office. So I would obviously want to get right to work. You would obviously praise your staff. Unlike what you would normally do in a traditional speech this way, you will have not talked to your opponent unless something strange happens between now and then, and she calls, they reach out and call. So you're not going to be able to say anything along those lines. And then ultimately, I think, especially if it looks right now, may not hold, but you're leading in the national popular vote. That's something that you have not done. It's something only one president, Republican president, has done this century. You have a mandate. And
what is the mandate? Because he didn't run to the center. I mean, he ran to the base, and the base, it seems poised to elect him. So what would the mandate be if you're him? What is it the mass deportation? Is it, the tariffs, for example? I mean, he's been very clear about his policies.
I think first and foremost, it'll be energy, the economy, extending the tax cuts, and then I think you will get into illegal immigration. I think you will get into and some of those other areas. But ultimately, I think that's first where you go. Also will depend on if you have the House. If you have the House and the House comes with you on this, then you have obviously both chambers. You'll have unified control. And that changes a lot.
He will effectively be a one-term president. What does that mean in terms of how he would govern?
You have, what, 8 months to get something done before they start running for re-election? No, I mean, in reality, obviously you're going to have your 4 years, but as we both know, you get that 100 days, maybe that 6 months before Congress goes and starts acting in their interest for their re-election, their campaign interests. You're going to have what I assume would be a primary to be your successor, and then obviously the Democrats will have their primary.
Claire, how would you see that? How would you see that rolling out?
Well, I think it depends on whether or not the House is controlled by the Democrats. Remember, when Trump got elected last time, he had the House and the Senate. He had all three, and there was, he struggled. He got the tax cuts done, but that was really the only, he didn't repeal Obamacare, he didn't build the wall, he didn't do a lot of the things he had promised to do, even though he had all three houses. So I worry that if the Democrats get the House, then whatever he doesn't get done will be Hakeem Jeffries' fault, as opposed to his inability to produce on the promises he's made. But if we don't take the House, then I think he's got a tall order, and I think he's got to do the tariffs. And he doesn't need Congress for that. He can do the tariffs right away. I've been hearing from my friends that are in Europe. They're very worried about the lines of those countries being redrawn fairly quickly.
You mean Ukraine?
Yes, and more. Orban and other autocrats that now will feel this is a green light. I think NATO will be greatly diminished. I think our European allies will be very, very nervous. So that's another whole piece of this. So I think it really is important for us to know whether the Democrats take the House before we start speculating too much. And part of me, I want the Democrats to take the House because I think there'll be a check. On the other hand, they also will be a scapegoat.
Well, let's be clear. If the Republicans hold on to the House, they have the Senate. If they win the White House, you have an ideological 6-3 Supreme Court. You will have the Republicans in charge of every branch of government in this country.
And not to raise this specter, but it is possible that if Donald Trump wins another term, if that happens, and we have not called Pennsylvania or the race yet, so big ifs here, but if that happens, you could maybe see some court retirements if there is a Republican Senate, Republican House, Republican in the White House as well, and then the court could become even more conservative. Again, potentially, I don't want to go too far down that road. Let's see how the night shakes out, but since you brought it up, Savannah, just to throw that in.
Well, that brings us to Tom Yamas and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
We've been talking so much about those collar counties. I want to talk about the I-222 corridor, and I know we have some PA homies in the house tonight. I'm sorry if my highway is not exact, but it kind of cuts through here. And I want to talk about this because when we look at the counties and how Trump's doing here, this is where the Hispanics are. This is the Latino corridor, if you will, in Pennsylvania, because I want to show you how important this is. So when we start, we can start right here. We'll start in York County, overperforming in York County. As we move up, Lancaster, about even there. We'll keep going. Berks County here, overperforming again, almost all the votes in there. We go to Lehigh now. She's underperforming. Harris is underperforming from Biden. Trump is overperforming. And we finish over here in Northampton again, Easton, PA. Again, he flips this county, overperforming there. And I want to show you the polls, guys, right? This was the exit poll that sort of, I don't want to say it surprised us, but this told us that the story was going to be different tonight. This is Trump support among Latino voters in Pennsylvania. Look at this number. 2020, 27%. In 2024, 41%. It was just not Latino voters. And again, I know this could change. These are early exit polls. So look at the breakdown here. White, 55, 57. But even black voters, he grew his margins there from 2020 to 2024. And again, that Latino margin, that spread right there. And I bring this up because we were talking a lot about that Madison Square Garden rally, that joke that was made about Puerto Rico and Puerto Ricans and how it would affect the race and how it would affect what happened in Pennsylvania. So far, we have not seen it have any tremendous effect. Again, we'll get all the data post-Thanksgiving, and we'll be able to sort of figure all that out. But right now, it looks like it's not affecting those Latino counties in Pennsylvania. I do want to get a check-in on how the collar counties are doing around Philadelphia. And we'll, again, Biden's number, where Trump is, this is statewide. We're going to start in Chester County. Harris is underperforming, still about 15% of the vote left out there. Montgomery County here, again, underperforming. We come down here to Delco. 62%, 61%, you know, almost about the same. But again, if you want to win Pennsylvania, you have to be at the same mark as Biden or higher. And then Philadelphia right now, this is not a great number for her. This is pretty bad. Again, 15% of the vote, more than 15% of the vote is still out there. So she could claw that back. And I don't want to forget Bucks County here. This is the big one tonight when we talk about the collar counties in Pennsylvania, because Democrats need to win this. They need to win all the collar counties. Biden at 51 in 2020. Tonight, Harris underwater at 48 and Trump up at 50. He may possibly flip Bucks County. 75% of the vote is in. Hallie Jackson's the Bucks County expert here, so I'll leave it to her.
No, correct me if I'm wrong. It was a Biden County in 2016 as well, right, by a slim margin.
It was a Clinton County.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
you're right.
I'm sorry, Democratic County, of course.
Yeah, but this was the only collar county. Yeah, Hallie, you're right. This is the only collar county Republicans thought they had a chance in, or could at least claw back some of the vote, maybe peel back some of the Democratic support. And tonight it looks like it's happened. We're still waiting on a quarter of the vote. But that's a strong, when you see a number like that in Bucks County, you know it's going to be a tough night for Democrats.
And as we talk about the education gap here in this race, I will just point out that Bucks County does have a bigger education gap than you see in some of those other Philadelphia suburban counties as well. You have an area like Lower Bucks, you see more of sort of that blue-collar voter there.
And the fact that Erie County also has gone for Trump, that's a huge bellwether in the state. And that's why Democrats who are texting me are saying all of these signs are just not headed in the right direction.
Well, I mean, Joe Biden, of course, picked up, he did better, in some of those rural places. He, is sort of from Scranton or Scranton adjacent, grew up there, but then obviously went on to have Delaware as his home state. But I mean, he did better in some of these rural places that we're talking about.
Well, what was interesting is that when Biden won it, when Obama won it, he drew out a very large African-American population and vote in the Philadelphia area. Yes, did well in the collar counties. But Biden really won it because of the collar counties, and that's what made his win in Pennsylvania so different.
Everyone's speechless here. I guess it really is 1:40 in the morning, except for they're not speechless. They're cheering there at Trump headquaters.
I think we can go
West
there.
Palm. Yeah, I think we must be getting close to that moment with Donald Trump. His motorcade, we saw it coming, so I think...
Garrett Haake is there.
Yeah, he's there. We can listen to him and hear what the crowd is hearing.
Yeah. Savannah, I can tell you right now, the anticipation far outpaces the available information about what Donald Trump will say and when he will say it. They're broadcasting another network in here, and we're getting a lot of cheers from a crowd who is anticipating a victory speech. I can tell you on the platform behind me, you probably can't quite see it, but the glass is up. The teleprompter glass is up for prepared remarks. But I think it's possible that part of the delay here may be that those remarks don't yet exist. Trump told reporters this morning after he voted that he hadn't written anything yet. He hadn't written a concession speech. He hadn't written a victory speech. He is something of a superstitious person, and it's possible he did not want to put anything on paper early, not knowing the results. For right now, I'm like tapping through my phone. We're reaching out to campaign sources, but I think part of the problem is Trump himself may not be entirely clear what message he wants to give to the country when he decides to step forward and give it. Savannah?
All right, Garrett, thank you. Let's go over to Peter Alexander at Harris headquarters, where they're shutting it down. Cedric Richmond had just came out a little earlier saying that we will not hear from Kamala Harris tonight, but we will tomorrow. Any further word there, Peter?
Right now at this hour. Yeah, I think most accurate to say that we are shutting it down at this point, shy of 2 o'clock here. We're the only ones left, a matter of reporters here who are sort of bundling up their gear in anticipation of the vice president returning to Howard University, her alma mater, as we were told. I guess it's later today. She'll be speaking today, Wednesday, not just to her supporters, but to a national audience as well. Obviously, this thing isn't done yet, but certainly based on the expressions we saw, the information we're getting from those in and around the Harris campaign, it doesn't feel like a winning night for them, a successful campaign. We heard a funeral type atmosphere from those top donors who were gathered at a hotel not far from here. Kamala Harris never arrived at this location, not dissimilar to Hillary Clinton back in 2016 when it was one of her aides who came out and said she wouldn't be speaking, that she would deliver remarks the next day. Ultimately, it was then when she delivered a concession. So they're keeping close eyes on Pennsylvania. But the bottom line is, you know, there are key demographics and critical counties and crucial states where they're just underperforming.
Peter, I'll ask you to stand by right now. We have another call in Nebraska in the split electoral votes. NBC News projects that Donald Trump will win 4 of the 5. There's the difference. This is District 3. Donald Trump, the projected winner. And you can see 58% of the vote is in there.
And District 2 remains outstanding. That's the one in Omaha, that's adjacent district that usually goes blue and is expected to tonight as well. I think we await District 2. think we just saw that.
And you can see Donald Trump drawing closer to the magic 270 that would put him over the top and hand him the White House once more.
Yeah, we await his comments. Stay with us. NBC News election night coverage continues right after this short break.
That Donald Trump will win in the state of Pennsylvania. 19 electoral votes. Here's where it stands right now. Donald Trump out in front. Difference of 188,000 votes. 95% of the vote in Pennsylvania. And that goes in the Donald Trump column.
And with that, it's expected that he will have the 270 votes he needs. I see you puzzling over there. It's because of Nebraska.
Yeah. I was looking there going, okay, am I going crazy?
No.
Because we haven't called Alaska yet, and that's why it's 266. But once Alaska gets called and Nebraska, you can see former President Trump, he had to get to 270. He's likely to get to 272, if not higher. We still haven't called Wisconsin or Michigan as well, but he is on his way. NBC News projecting him on his way back to the White House.
And we were told he is perhaps a minute away now from coming on the stage at the campaign headquarters in West Palm Beach and to make his remarks to the crowd. The crowd very silent right now. I'm not quite sure what they're listening to, but they have been partying for quite some time.
Well, this is history. Not since Grover Cleveland in the 1880s have we seen a president return to office after that gap. So a second term after a gap of time. 4 years later, Donald Trump will be the 47th president of the United States, as he was the 45th president of the United States, with the convincing sweep of several battleground states. Several battleground states still not decided, but the magic number of 270 electoral votes has been reached, and we will have many hours and days to talk about the coalition that he put together. But this is the scene at Trump headquarters in West Palm Beach as Donald J. Trump once again will assume the presidency on January 20th. The United States Senate will be in Republican hands. Democrats have lost control of the Senate, and the fate of the House of Representatives, currently in Republican hands, also in question. Democrats just need 4 seats to pick up to get control of the House. That would be the one check on Republican power, but it may well be that they sweep the House as well. So we have set the scene for you. This long campaign is over, and we await the former president to make his remarks.
Tom, to be clear, how does he get to 270 now? He's at 266.
Yeah, so right now he's at 266. If we fill in, and let me see, because sometimes when we get to a certain point, you can no longer fill in some holes here, but he wins Alaska, and then we go back, in Maine. Maine. There's a congressional district in Maine that we're still waiting on. You can see Maine is not filled out yet. There's a congressional district in Maine. Once he gets there, he'll get past 270, or he'll get right to 270, and that's where he'll stand tonight. And when we hit 2024, he'll likely get to 272. Again, and we haven't called Wisconsin and Michigan, so it could grow from there. But as Savannah mentioned, he got to 270. That's the magic number. We're projecting that Pennsylvania is a win for former President Trump. He is headed back to the White House.
This is all, of course, assuming that Alaska and Nebraska and the Maine district go the way that we expect them to go. So I think Tom is making an excellent point here that we haven't hit that magic 270 number just yet. But with the win in Pennsylvania here, the thing I'm looking for, a couple of things. What is the Harris campaign going to say and do now? Because the last that we heard from them, of course, it was Cedric Richmond taking the stage. That memo had suggested to staffers, listen, we've got the blue wall. We're going to wait and see turnout in Philadelphia. We have now called Pennsylvania. That is incredibly significant here. And so do we hear from, if not her, as we don't expect to, the campaign tonight? And then obviously, what are we going to hear when former President Trump himself takes the stage there down in Palm Beach?
And will she call him to concede? I mean, that's my question. If you'll rewind back to 2016, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton did, in fact, call Donald Trump that night to concede.
And the next morning, she came before the cameras. It was, I believe, late morning, if memory serves. She did. And I think the Democratic the leaders have signaled that she will address the country tomorrow. And they certainly could read the tea leaves and saw which way this was headed. And so, you know, we believe and project that he will reach at least the 270 votes that he needs.
Well, and I remember talking to John Podesta in 2016 and saying, have you written a concession speech at the beginning of the night? And he said no, because we don't even want to think about that. And you have to ask that question. Did Harris even have a concession speech, or is that part of what she's thinking through? What exactly?
Well, I mean, going into a night where, you know, the polls showed 49-49. I mean, I think
well, maybe someone wrote a concession.
I think you wouldn't be blamed for you know, being presumptuous to go out and write a.
For all the talk about the 2016 vibes, and I'm sure it's in your text messages as well, yours, you know, that this feels a lot like that. There is a distinction here, and I defer, of course, to the former Hillary Clinton campaign correspondent, but there was, in some ways, an air of inevitability around Hillary Clinton that just didn't exist around Kamala Harris. She wasn't even supposed to be on the top of this ticket 6 months ago, right? So there is, it was a very different vibe coming into this. She talked about, and her campaign cast her as the underdog here in this race, not as the sort of heir apparent, if you will. So there are some distinctions here.
By the way, this is the third straight election in which it appears that pollsters have underestimated the Trump vote. I mean, we will see. We don't have all the numbers here, and we can all do the comparison, but it does appear that he, at least, maybe it's not a polling miss, because those were, in most of these battlegrounds, dead ties, and within the margin of error. And if it's in the margin of error, it's not a polling miss. But there's no question, Tom, that in the counties that you have now memorized, that will be haunting you to the last of your days, that he was outperforming and getting new voters to the polls and squeezing out more voters, especially in those rural districts.
We were looking in all those battleground states, and the pattern that we kept seeing was that he kept overperforming in the rural areas. She was underperforming Biden in those urban areas, in the blue counties she needed to win. I was signaling you, Savannah, because one thing, I don't know if you guys have talked about it yet, but if former President Trump goes back to the White House, something else you guys, I don't think you've talked about it yet, is the Supreme Court. And what happens in the Supreme Court, and if anything happens there, we saw how he completely reshaped that court. And if he's reelected, and it looks like he's going to be, I mean, not that there's anyone sort of hanging on there at the Supreme Court, but it's something that Republicans are going to be thinking about.
Well, and here's the other point to remind people of. The Supreme Court issued a ruling that gave him immunity from all official acts. Prior to tonight, Donald Trump was facing 3 legal battles and was also convicted.
He's got
a November 26th sentencing date.
So there will be a lot of questions about how all of that will
unfold. There are 2 state cases, the sentencing case. The sentencing is in the New York State case. And then there are 2 federal cases which will functionally disappear.
Go away.
I mean, they'll go away. If he took office and they were still going, he could pardon himself. He could have a different attorney general. I mean, there's a million. They're gone. They're just gone.
Yeah, and remember, he also said he would free all of the January 6th convicts. We'll have to see how that works functionally, and he'll fire Jack Smith on day one, and again, the deportation force, which he has promised to start on day one. So we'll have to see how that all unfolds.
It's
He's very clear.
Think about what Judge Merchan in New York State Court will do with the sentencing date before him, whether he just tables it or, you know, but in any event.
That could mean another Supreme Court intervention to try to find out
It could. It'll be very interesting. Yeah, it's an experienced judge. I don't know what he'll do. He may just, you know, recognize what's going on. And in the end, it is a business records case. You know, so he may decide, okay, the conviction stands, but choose not to sentence to jail, which actually would be in line with similar situated defendants.
Yeah, so you have
so it would be surprising.
Your court TV hat back on here.
I know. Exactly. It's like all that legal education put to use here at 2 o'clock in the morning as we await Donald Trump to take the stage here in West Palm.
Yeah, we're in a bit of a holding period right now. The crowd is I guess, watching some speeches or videos right now, and they're waiting for the former president to come out. We don't know whether he will claim victory. Again, we have not made that call. At least one other network has, and the crowd reacted to that a bit early, but we make no statement from that other than the fact that we're our decision desk works along with its own metrics in making these decisions, so they will at some point make calls, and we'll see where the evening ends up.
Yeah, well, barring an earthquake in some of these states, such as Alaska, I think that by calling Pennsylvania, it's sort of all over, but the voting. But we will wait for the official moment of 270 votes. But I can guarantee you Donald Trump is it. There's Vivek Ramaswamy, Doug Burgum. These are former opponents in the primary who were quickly dispatched and then came over to the Trump side, and perhaps they have stars in their eyes about what roles they may play in a Trump administration.
There's another piece of history that if this goes the way that it seems likely to go here, and he does hit 270 electoral votes, he would be the oldest president ever elected. He would actually beat now President Biden by about 143 days. So he would make history in that setting as well. That is not something he prefers to talk about, especially as age has become front and center in this race, as Vice President Harris looked to cast him as sort of exhausted, questioning his fitness for office in those final days of the campaign. Again, an argument that clearly did not seem to resonate for voters in Georgia, in North Carolina, and Pennsylvania, those battlegrounds that appeared to be putting him over the edge.
Let's go to Garrett Hank. He is there at the Trump headquarters. Garrett, can you tell what the audience is listening to right now, and any word on when we might see Mr. Trump?
Lester, they're listening to a discussion of the race on Fox News. Beyond that, I'm still embarrassingly bereft of much programming information. The Trump team briefly took down the teleprompters that had been on stage for the last hour or so, leading us to believe that Trump was going to come out and speak off the cuff, which sort of tracks given that we knew he had not written any remarks earlier in the day. Then we just a moment ago saw staffers come back out and reassemble the teleprompter. Trump's son, Eric Trump, just posted a picture on social media of the former president backstage holding papers that appeared to be remarks, perhaps rehearsing, getting ready to come out. But the guidance we have gotten from the campaign remains unambiguous soon, and beyond that we are left to wait and wonder with the rest of you as I'm watching staffers make yet another adjustment to the former president's teleprompter on stage.
Yes, it's getting to be late here, and we are awaiting former President Trump, and we're just doing a switcheroo here with getting our Capitol Hill correspondent in position here. We can have a lot to discuss with him as we talk about and potentially a new Washington. We haven't called the race yet, but we've called Pennsylvania, and that just about does it, as all of us who've been studying the map certainly know by now.
A new Washington that looks a little bit like the old Washington, right?
Yes.
With Donald Trump back in office here. The dynamic's different, especially with the way that the Republican Party has changed. Think about it, gone. And Ryan Nobles is joining us, knows this. Mitch McConnell will not be in Senate leadership anymore. I remember in 2017 when Kristen and I were, newly minted White House, or you were a White House correspondent, I came on board. There's a lot of discussion about the Republican establishment and Donald Trump, and would he bend to them or would they bend to him? We now have that answer 8 years later, and that is what Washington, it seems, if this goes the way, barring any big surprises, will look like.
Well, and that's what we were talking about at the convention. This is Donald Trump's Republican Party.
Yeah, and the type of new senator that you're going to see he coming in and joining the ranks of the existing senators are all senators that are in what you'd call the MAGA mold, right? These are people that have run campaigns that are in the same vein as the type of campaign that Donald Trump has run. These are people that very much sought Donald Trump's endorsement, felt that it was necessary to connect with him and his base. The best example of this is Mike Rogers, right? Former congressman from Michigan who, at a certain point in his career, attempted to try and break himself from Donald Trump, tried to be a part of this kind of anti-Trump establishment. Maybe he thought that was the future of the Republican Party. Went away from politics for a little while, came back when he saw that his seat was open in Michigan, and basically did everything he could to make himself in the MAGA mold. And now he's going to be a part of this new group. Oh, he could potentially be part of this new group of senators. We haven't called that.
Yeah, I'm just peeking. He's leading it by a little bit. We have it as too close to call.
Great.
Well, I mean, you look at Senator Marco Rubio, who I just saw there. I mean, all of these former opponents, it's either get on board or get run over. And, you know, that's kind of the way that it's been, and many of them have. I mean, former Trump critics, I might mention J.D. Vance, a former Trump critic who is about to be vice president of the United States.
Yeah, I mean, and I've had many conversations with both senators and aides and people with a lot of influence on Capitol Hill, and they've talked about this metamorphosis. And they've talked about how maybe they don't like necessarily Donald Trump's personality or the way he presents himself or the way he talks about people, but they also realize that, and what is clearly evident tonight, that he has captured the pulse of at least half of the American people, and in particular, the American people that elect Republicans to office. And so you can try and fight against that establishment if you want to be a Republican, or you can get on board, and more you see these Republicans getting on board. The question, I think, becomes, does that translate into some sort of governable posture? You know, they're very good at throwing pot shots. They're very good at complaining about things, turning that into actual action, because Donald Trump has laid out a long list of things he'd like to get done. Like, how quickly can he remove tax on tips or tax on overtime, which is something that he's promised? He may have the votes to do that. Now it's actually time to turn
but then you got to find the money elsewhere when you want money for other things. So budgets are budgets.
I do think it's worth, just as we sit here and reflect on the history of this moment, thinking about not only is this historic because he's the first president to serve 9 consecutive terms in more than 100 years, but think about the political comeback that we are witnessing. Think about January 6th and the days after that, and the number of Republicans who wrestled with whether to impeach him again and convict him, and who tried to separate themselves from him, much like you're discussing, Ryan, and who'd written him off politically, who just could not conceive of this moment. And then he had this incredible showing in the primary. And now here he is tonight on the cusp of
I think back, Kristen,
going back to the White House.
Often of that period of time where Mitch McConnell had that moment where he had to make a decision during the second impeachment trial as to whether or not he would lift his thumb and allow a whole group of Republican senators who were seriously thinking about voting to impeach him and put Donald Trump in a position where he would not be able to run for office again. And at the time, Mitch McConnell's argument was that this was not a decision, a political decision, that this would be a legal decision.
Decided in the courts.
He would be prosecuted, and a judge and jury would decide whether or not he should be convicted of those crimes.
I want to show you very quickly a photo of Donald Trump apparently taken backstage. This is not it, but there it is. So he's... I
think that was posted by one of his sons, just mentioned by Garrett Hake a few moments ago.
One of the other... I'm sorry, I was going to say, one of the other things, I think there is still some suspense to the evening as it relates to the margin here and to the popular vote, right? Because this is something else that speaks to this idea of a mandate. Because over the course of the last 8 years, one of the things that you often hear said about former President Trump is, well, he doesn't have half the country, right? He's not there. He wins the electoral vote. What does the popular vote look like? And what do these other battlegrounds look like? Yes, we've called here at NBC News, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, Nevada, all still out there. His campaign, his allies, would be thrilled with a battleground sweep if that's what this turns out to be, as a talking point that will drive them over the course of the next
Well, not only that, I mean, Donald Trump has been extremely clear about his agenda, whether it's no tax on tips or if it's tariffs, if it's, you know...
Mass deportations.
Mass deportations, the war in Ukraine, cutting off the money spigot, trying to negotiate an end to it right away. I mean, so, you know, if he wins a battleground sweep in the popular vote, it's not that people didn't know what they were voting for.
I do wonder, and especially when you put it in that context, that was one of the things that Vice President Harris struggled with to some extent, and they made the calculation that she wasn't going to get specific about every single potential policy issue. And she is someone who, of course, was thrust into this race with 100 days to go, who had frankly never won a primary. I mean, remember in 2019, she dropped out before Iowa.
You know what's very interesting in one of the exit polls? Kamala Harris's favorable rating, 48%. Donald Trump's, 44%.
That's right.
People like him less, and it appears
but the people who liked
into
him,
an office.
The people who liked him showed up here, and maybe others as well. And look at Joe Biden's approval rating, too. I do think that comes into play here. His favorability at 41%.
Well, they may not like him, but they like what he says. They like his policies.
I talk to voters all the time that say, I can't stand him. I don't like the way he picks on people. I don't like his tweets. I don't like the way that he picks on people that aren't like him, but I love his policies.
But in his mind, does that validate his worst instincts now? I mean, will the lesson for him of this election be, you know, course works?
And also, it doesn't matter, Lester, right? Because he's not going to run for re-election again. That's it. He's going to have these 4 years, and he's the same Donald Trump, but he may govern differently. And what I mean by that is that he knows Washington now. The first time he didn't know Washington. Now he knows Washington. And also the people that are going to sign up for his cabinet, they know what to expect. You remember, all these people signed up, they got approved, and then they quickly were dismissed. What we saw with his campaign that was different from 2016 and really from his White House presidency, the team he assembled is the team that stayed. Right? His campaign team, those around him, are the people that stayed. What's different this time around, though, Trump's inner circle is much different. You've mentioned this. No more Jared, no more Ivanka. There's much different people that have gotten close to him over these 4 years. So it may be a little different, and everyone that signs up sort of knows what to expect. I think when you talk about people like Senator Marco Rubio, Senator Tim Scott, these are people who stayed very close to him. They ran against him, but they stayed very close to him. You could see positions like Secretary of State and other cabinet positions being offered to these senators.
Some of the OGs are still around, right? Some of those 2016 people who came in early are I think it's Tori Lewandowski who's back in the fold.
Steve Bannon, still an outside advisor. I'm told not planning to go back to the White House, but I think these are people who will continue to be in his
They'll be in his ear.
But I wonder, to your point, though, Lester, when we look at this campaign, one of the things that was much different than what we saw in 2020 and 2016, aside from the candidate himself, the operation was far more disciplined than what we saw in those previous two election cycles.
Absolutely.
Chris LaCivita, who I covered for a long time as a political reporter in Virginia, Susie Wiles, they at least kept the overall message of the campaign, you know, very focused throughout the entire time. Now, he would get off the rails from time to time. That made their lives difficult. But you found them keeping everyone together and focused on a specific message.
But look at the Donald Trump we have seen in just the last few months in terms of message and
he's about to take the stage. Let's listen.
Here's Donald Trump now coming out.
Thank you very much. Wow. Well, I want to thank you all very much. This is great. These are our friends. We have thousands of friends in this incredible movement. This was a movement like nobody's ever seen before. And frankly, this was, I believe, the greatest political movement of all time. There's never been anything like this in this country, and maybe beyond. And now it's going to reach a new level of importance because we're going to help our country heal. We're going to help our country heal. We have a country that needs help, and it needs help very badly. We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix everything about our country. And we made history for a reason tonight, and the reason is going to be just that. We overcame obstacles that nobody thought possible, and it is now clear that we've achieved the most incredible political thing. Look what happened. Is this crazy? But it's a political victory that our country has never seen before, nothing like this. I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president and your 45th president. And every citizen, I will fight for you, for your family, and your future. Every single day, I will be fighting for you, and with every breath in my body, I will not rest until we have delivered the strong, safe, and prosperous America that our children deserve and that you deserve. This will truly be the golden age of America. That's what we have to have. This is a magnificent victory for the American people that will allow us to make America great again. And in addition to having won the battleground states of North Carolina, I love these places, Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, we are now winning in Michigan, Arizona, Nevada, and Alaska, which would result in us carrying at least 315 electoral votes. But it's much easier doing what the networks did or whoever called it, because there was no other path. There was no other path to victory. We also have won the popular vote. That was great. Very proud of it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, winning the popular vote was very nice, I will tell you. It's a great feeling of love. We have a great feeling of love in this very large room with unbelievable people standing by my side. These people have been incredible. They've made the journey with me, and we're going to make you very happy. We're going to make you very proud of your vote. I hope that you're going to be looking back someday and say that was one of the truly important moments of my life when I voted for this group of people beyond the president, this group of great people. America has given us an unprecedented and powerful mandate. We have taken back control of the Senate. Wow, that's good. And the Senate races in Montana, Nevada, Texas, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, were all won by the MAGA movement. They helped so much. And in those cases, every one of them, we worked with the senators. They were tough races. And I mean, the number of victories in the Senate was absolutely incredible. And we did tele-rallies. We did tele-rallies with each one of them. And sometimes we did 2 or 3 and it was amazing to look at all of those victories. Nobody expected that, nobody. So I just wanted to thank you very much for that. And you have some great senators and some great new senators. And it also looks like we'll be keeping control of the House of Representatives. And I want to thank Mike Johnson. I think he's doing a terrific job. Terrific job. I want to also thank my beautiful wife, Melania, First Lady. Who has the #1 best-selling book in the country. Can you believe that? Oh, no, she's done a great job, works very hard to help people. So I just want to thank her. But I want to thank my whole family, my amazing children, and they are amazing children. Now, we all think our children are amazing. Everybody here thinks their children are amazing, but that's a good thing when you think they are. But Don, Eric, Ivanka, Tiffany, Barron, Laura, Jared, Kimberly, Michael, thank you all. What a help. What a great. My father-in-law, Victor, is tremendous, and we miss very much Melania's mother, Amalia. We miss Amalia, don't we, huh? She would be very happy right now, standing on this stage. She'd be so proud. She was a great woman, that one. Beautiful inside and out. She was a great woman. I want to be the first to congratulate our great, now I can say, Vice President-elect of the United States, Clergy. And his absolutely remarkable and beautiful wife, Usha Vance. And he is a feisty guy, isn't he? You know, I've said, go into the enemy camp. And you know, the enemy camp is certain networks. And a lot of people don't like to, sir, do I have to do that? He just goes, okay. Which one? CNN, MSDNC? He'll say, all right, thank you very much. He actually looks like, he's like the only guy I've ever seen. He really looks forward to it. And then he just goes in and absolutely obliterates them. Say a couple of words here.
Wow. Well, Mr. President, I appreciate you allowing me to join you on this incredible journey. I thank you for the trust that you placed in me. And I think that we just witnessed the greatest political comeback in the history of the United States of America. And under President Trump's leadership, we're never going to stop fighting for you, for your dreams, for the future of your children. And after the greatest political comeback in American history, we're going to lead the greatest economic comeback in American history under Donald Trump's leadership.
Thank you very much. He's turned out to be a good choice. I took a little heat at the beginning, but he was, I knew the brain was a good one, about as good as it gets. And we love the family, and we're going to have a great 4 years, and we're going to turn our country around, make it something very special. It lost that little that little thing called special, we have to make it so. We're going to make this so great. It's the greatest country and potentially the greatest country in the world by far. And right now, we're going to just work very hard to get all of that back. We're going to make it the best it's ever been. We can do that. If we had to wait longer, I don't know. It was going bad, and it was going bad fast. We're going to have to seal up those borders, and we're going to have to let people come into our country. We want people to come back in, but we have to let them come back in, but they have to come in legally. They have to come in legally. Let me also express my tremendous appreciation for Susie and Chris, the job you did. Susie, come here. Come here, Susie. Chris, come here, Chris. Susie likes to stay sort of in the back, let me tell you. The Ice Maiden, we call her the Ice Maiden. Come here, Chris. Come here, Chris. Susie likes to stay in the background. She's not in the background. Come here, Susie. You want me to say something?
This wasn't expected, but I just want to thank, obviously, President Trump for this journey. It was a great one, and he's a hell of a candidate, and he's going to be a hell of a great 47th president. And this team that we had, the best team, and, of course, even my boss, Susie Wiles, the best. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you, Susie. Look at this. She's shot. I've never seen her be shot before. Susie, they're great. Everybody up here is great. Everybody up here is very special. But the Trump, who did you say? Oh, let me tell you, we have a new star. A star is born, Elon. Now he is. Now he's an amazing guy. We were sitting together tonight. You know, he spent 2 weeks in Philadelphia and different parts of Pennsylvania campaigning. You know, he sent the rocket up 2 weeks ago, and I saw that rocket, and I saw it coming down. I saw it. It was, when it left, it was beautiful, shiny white. When it came down, it didn't look so pretty. It was going 10,000 miles an hour, and it was burning like hell. I said, what happened to your paint job? He said, we've never made a paint that could withstand that kind of heat. And but I saw it come down and turn around. And it was, you know, it's like 22 stories tall, by the way. It looks a little smaller than that, but it's big. And it came down, and you saw that fire burning. And I'm saying, only Elon can do this. It must be an Elon. And I tell the story. I told it last night. I had a man on the phone. I had the screen muted, no sound. I was talking to a very important man, happens to be here. And that very important guy, one of the most important people in, I would say, the country, actually. But, you know, I was president, and now it looks like I was going to be maybe president again, so I figured I could ask him to hold. So I asked him to hold. And especially because you're going to be president again, they hold. So I took the phone down, and I'm looking at the screen. I'm seeing this crazy thing that's going around and coming down. It looks like it's going to crash into the gantry. And I said, oh, no. And I said, do me a favor. Do you mind holding for a couple of minutes? I want to see this. I thought it was a space-age movie or something. I put the phone down. Bad part, I didn't pick it up for 45 minutes, and he was holding. But this spaceship came down, and I saw those engines firing, and it looked like it was over. It was going to smash. And then I saw the fire pour out from the left side, and I put it straight, and it came down so gently, and then it wrapped those arms around it, and it held it, and just like you hold your baby at night, your little baby. And it was a beautiful thing to see, and I called Elon. I said, Elon, was that you? He said, yes, it was. I said, who else can do that? Can Russia do it? No. Can China do it? No. Can the United States do it other than you? No, nobody can do that. I said, that's why I love you, Elon. That's great. And you know, when we had the tragic Hurricane Helene, and it hit North Carolina, they were really devastated. The water, this was a big water, as big as we've ever seen, water hurricane. It built lakes out of nothing. Fields became lakes, and And the danger was unbelievable. And the people from North Carolina came to me and they said, would it be possible, at all possible, for you to speak to Elon Musk? We need Starlink. I said, what's Starlink? It's a form of communication. So I called Elon, and I'll tell you what, he had, and it was very dangerous. People would die. They had no communication. All the wires were down. I called Elon Musk. I said, Elon, you have something called Starlink. Is that right? Yes, I do. What the hell is it? He said, it's a communication system that's very good. I said, Elon, they need it really, really badly in North Carolina. Can you get it? He had that there so fast. It was incredible. So, and it was great. It saved a lot of lives. He saved a lot of lives. But he's a character. He's a special guy. He's a super genius. We have to protect our geniuses. We don't have that many of them. We have to protect our super geniuses. I want to thank some of the guys. You know, we have up here today the U.S. Open champion. He's a fantastic golfer, slightly longer than me. It's a ball a little bit longer than me. Just a little bit. Bryson DeChambeau is up here someplace. What happened to Bryson? Where is he? Bryson. Oh, he was shot. He's hitting balls. Oh, he's on the way. He's hitting balls. Bryson. Oh, look at him. He's got a great career going. Great U.S. Open, Bryson. That's a fantastic job. And we also have a man, Dana White, who has done some job. He's a tough guy. So Dana started UFC and came to me, do you mind if I use your, nobody wanted to give him a rinse because they said it's a rough sport, a little rough. And I helped him out a little bit, and I went, and they said, this is the roughest sport I've ever seen, but I began to like it, and he loved it, and nobody's done a better job in sports. And you know, he's a very motivational kind of a guy, what he does. He gets these fighters, and they really go at it, and it's become one of the most successful sports enterprises anywhere at any time. It's doing so well. I'd like to ask Dana just to say a couple of words, because people love to hear from him. Dana,
please. Nobody deserves this more than him, and nobody deserves this more than his family does. This is what happens when the machine comes after you. What you've seen over the last several years, this is what it looks like. Couldn't stop him. He keeps going forward. He doesn't quit. He's the most resilient, hard-working man I've ever met in my life. His family are incredible people. This is karma, ladies and gentlemen. He deserves this. They deserve it as a family. I want to thank some people real quick. I want to thank the Nelk boys, Aiden Ross, Theo Vaughn, busting with the boys, and last but not least, the mighty and powerful Joe Rogan. And thank you, America. Thank you. Have a good night.
That is a piece of work. No, he's really an amazing guy. But most of all, I want to thank the millions of hardworking Americans across the nation who have always been the heart and soul of this really great movement. We've been through so much together, and today you showed up in record numbers to deliver a victory like probably like no other. This was something special, and we're gonna pay you back. We're gonna do the best job. We're gonna turn it around. It's got to be turned around. It's got to be turned around fast, and we're gonna turn it around. We're gonna do it in every way, with so many ways, but we're gonna do it in every way. This will forever be remembered as the day the American people regained control of their country. So I just want to say that on behalf of this great group of people, these are hard-working people. These are fantastic people, and we can add a few names like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He came in. And he's going to help make America healthy again. And now he's a great guy, and he really means it. He wants to do some things, and we're going to let him go to it. I just said, but, Bobby, leave the oil to me. We have more liquid gold, oil and gas. We have more liquid gold than any country in the world, more than Saudi Arabia. We have more than Russia. Bobby, stay away from the liquid gold. Other than that, go have a good time, Bobby. We're going to be paying down debt. We're going to be reducing taxes. We can do things that nobody else can do. Nobody else is going to be able to do it. China doesn't have what we have. Nobody has what we have. But we have the greatest people also. Maybe that's the most important thing. This campaign has been so historic in so many ways. We've built the biggest, the broadest, the most unified coalition. They've never seen anything like it in all of American history. They've never seen any young and old, men and women, rural and urban. And we had them all helping us tonight. When you think, I mean, I was looking at it, I was watching it. They had some great analysis of the people that voted for us. Nobody's ever seen anything like that. They came from all corners, union, non-union, African American, Hispanic American, Asian American, Arab American, Muslim American. We had everybody, and it was beautiful. It was a historic realignment, uniting citizens of all backgrounds around a common core of common sense. You know, we're the party of common sense. We want to have borders. We want to have security. We want to have things be good, safe. We want great education. We want a strong and powerful military, and ideally we don't have to use it. You know, we had no wars. 4 years we had no wars, except we defeated ISIS. We defeated ISIS in record time. But we had no wars. They said, he will start a war. I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars. But this is also a massive victory for democracy and for freedom. Together, we're going to unlock America's glorious destiny. We're going to achieve the most incredible future for our people. Yesterday, as I stood at my last stop on the campaign trail, I'll never be doing a rally again. Can you believe it? I think we've done 900 rallies approximately from the, can you imagine? 901 something, a lot of rallies. And it was sad. Everybody was sad. Many people, I said, this is our last rally. But now we're going on to something that's far more important, because the rallies were used for us to be put in this position where we can really help our country. That's what we're going to do. We're going to make our country better than it ever has been. And I said that many people have told me that God spared my life for a reason. And that reason was to save our country and to restore America to greatness. And now we are going to fulfill that mission together. We're going to fulfill that mission. The task before us will not be easy, but I will bring every ounce of energy, spirit, and fight that I have in my soul to the job that you've entrusted to me. This is a great job. There's no job like this. This is the most important job in the world. Just as I did in my first term, we had a great first term, a great first term. I will govern by a simple motto: promises made, promises kept. We're going to keep our promises. Nothing will stop me from keeping my word to you, the people. We will make America safe, strong, prosperous, powerful, and free again. And I'm asking every citizen all across our land to join me in this noble and righteous endeavor. That's what it is. It's time to put the divisions of the past 4 years behind us. It's time to unite. And we're going to try. We're going to try. We have to try. And it's going to happen. Success will bring us together. I've seen that. I've seen that. I saw that in the first term. When we became more and more successful, people started coming together. Success is going to bring us together, and we are going to start by all putting America first. We have to put our country first for at least a period of time. We have to fix it. Because together we can truly make America great again for all Americans. So I want to just tell you what a great honor this is. I want to thank you. I will not let you down. America's future will be bigger, better, bolder, richer, safer, and stronger than it has ever been before. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Former President Trump making about 25 minutes worth of remarks, essentially acknowledging that he has been called by other networks, not this one so far, as the next president of the United States, coming out with family and supporters there, a crowd that had waited a considerable amount of time, but obviously eager and happy about the outcome of the evening. As we said, NBC News has not projected that he is over the top yet, but he has a clear path to victory and the White House at this point.
And we just saw Barron Trump, 18 years old, cast his first vote in a general election for president today for his father. And people say that Barron Trump has actually had a lot of the ideas about having his father appeal to young men his age.
Okay, one of the young men
seems to be part of the coalition that we're seeing take shape now.
You heard from former President Trump there. Again, we have not called the race for president for him. We have called the race for Pennsylvania for him, and that appears to be the critical key for him to get to 270 at some point throughout the course of the early evening. He has not officially won the popular vote yet, although he is leading on that front. We have not officially called control of the House of Representatives yet. That could take a while. He clearly feels confident about that, saying that they've won. Again, that is not the case just yet. The Republicans do have control of the Senate, but you heard former President Trump there say that we have an unprecedented and powerful mandate at this historic moment here. He is now, once we officially call the race, would be the oldest president ever elected, only the second president elected to a non-consecutive term. You saw him basking in the moment. At one point, he looked around and said something like, "Isn't this crazy?" I mean, he looked around and said that this even happened. He was extremely confident, at least publicly projecting that
And
in the days
raised
before this moment.
He talked about having almost lost his life at an assassin's bullet this summer, and talked about how he feels that some of his supporters, or at least feel that he was saved for this moment, and so he took that tone as well.
And Savannah, he called it the greatest political comeback in the history of this country. He might not be wrong if you think about that. He survived 2 assassination attempts, right? One that was very close. 90 criminal accounts, right? He was in court throughout his campaign. He was primaried, won that primary, fought all those criminal cases. A lot of them are still ongoing right now. Again, survives the assassination attempts, loses his mother-in-law. A lot happened to him over the last 2 years. And here we are at this moment again where it looks like he's on his way to re-election.
Yeah, he'll be, he's supposed to be sentenced, I think, the 26th of November on felony charges.
And that, even saying that sentence here, right, in this moment, is unprecedented.
This is Clergy TV. Arise, shine.
Do you wish to live in a state-of-the-art modern home with schools nearby, a supermarket and police station both at a close proximity? Bella Rose Apartments got you covered. We're located at Kileleshwa on Othaya Road next to Holy Trinity Church. It's a 6-story building with 2 apartments on each floor, both having 3-bedroom suites and a DSQ, a functional elevator, 24-hour CCTV surveillance, an electric fence with a security guard, public transport right in front of the building, a spacious car park, and an opportunity of great view of the estate through the balcony and the laundry of each apartment. Bella Rose Apartments, you will love it. Contact us through 0722 559568. Bella Rose Apartments, dream house into reality.
Welcome to Shiloh College, a globally recognized institution under the Private Career Colleges Act of 2005, Canada Federal Letters Patent, and endorsed by the Ministry of Training, Colleges, and Universities. Our presence spans across the Americas, Europe, the Caribbean, Bahamas, and Africa. Under the leadership of Professor William Commando, Shiloh College transcends traditional educational methods. Our faculty are experts in their fields and also serve as mentors, creating a supportive environment for students to excel both academically and personally. Kenya campus, located in Nairobi, embodies our unique approach to education. Dr. Michuki, a leader with diverse roles including president of Clergy TV Kenya, oversees the Kenya campus. Dr. Michuki's achievements in various disciplines demonstrate his expertise and commitment to ongoing education. Shiloh College offers programs ranging from certificate to doctorate level, including studies in Christian counseling, Christian education, Christian chaplaincy, divinity, theology, and Christian leadership, ensuring our students are well equipped for professional success. Dive into the world of alternative dispute and conflict resolution with Shiloh College Canada's comprehensive 30-credit program. Designed for those aspiring to master the art of mediation, this program equips you with the skills to handle diverse conflicts and disputes effectively. Ever considered enhancing your future with higher education? Shiloh College might just be the place for you. Known for its exemplary programs and situated in a stunning campus, we aim to set you on the path to success. We believe exceptional talents like yours belong on a winning team. Don't let this opportunity slip by. Come be a part of Shiloh College, where dreams meet reality. For more information, visit Shiloh College's Kenya main campus in Nairobi, Kenya, or reach out via telephone at 254-713-115-5239, 254-784-4916-118, or email at registrarshilohcollege.com.
Are you a lady and you have interest to work overseas or out of Kenya, but you lack the place for training and gathering skills? Worry not. Base International Training Institute has what you're looking for and much more.
My name is Faith Raro. This is Base International Training Institute. Welcome on.
We cover courses such as caregivers management, certificate in home care management, pre-departure, home nursing, life skills, cookery, laundry and pets. You can reach us through the number 0788145858. Base International Training Institute, where every life counts.
He was a champion in science, Mr. Speaker. But that did not stop me from going into the areas of drama, into the areas of journalism, into the areas of media, into the areas of other emerging performing and visual arts, Mr. Speaker. So this idea of drawing a dichotomy between the sciences and the arts is leading us to where we are today, having a gross shortage in science teachers, Mr. Speaker. So if Kenya is seeking for that pole position in the new world of emerging technologies known as the fourth industrial revolution, the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things. If we are seeking for a pole position in this new world, we must also deliberately develop the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics field without cutting them away from the arts. Mr. Speaker, to your point, a surgeon today needs to be an amazing artist. If a surgeon was not a good artist, they stand the risk of botching up an operation on a girl who has gone for a CS operation to a point where this girl might never want to wear a bikini again in her life. This surgeon is needed to be an artist so that when they conduct surgery, they do not leave you with the scars like the ones I was left with after the post-election violence of 2007, 2008, when the operation was botched by a scientist who is not an artist. But an artist also, Mr. Speaker, has to be a scientist. You cannot be a good sculptor if you do not understand the science of civic engineering or civil engineering, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this place that we are seeking to be a science museum, Mr. Speaker, is not speaking against the museums that exist. There was a point made here in the contributions that there already exists museums of natural history. Mr. Speaker, allow me to say that the Museum of Natural History is in every sense a dead museum. where you put taxidermies and old animals and old artifacts. But a science museum is a living museum. But in a language that we must preserve, Mr. Speaker, they say, itini nanagira anyeki. To translate that is to say that if you go to London, you shall find on one street the science of art, the science of natural history, the science museum, all of them put together in one street as museums lined up in a way that all of them do attract the publics that they need to. Finally, Mr. Speaker, in establishing a science museum, we shall be bringing science home. Mr. Speaker, Kenya is the cradle of mankind. And by being the cradle of mankind, it means that science and technology was birthed in this country. And what has happened over the years, Mr. Speaker, is that because of brain drain, we have bled so much technological minds to other capitals. Today, Mr. Speaker, if you go to the London Science Museum, it is one Kenyan by the name of Professor Washington Yotto, who is the chairperson of the Science Museum in London, the Science Museum group that has more than 5 science museums in the world. Such brains, Mr. Speaker, can be domiciled here in Kenya. At Konza, if we establish a science museum, we can get these amazing brains that are out there to come and establish this museum and lead it to be the first science museum, not only in East Africa, but also in Africa generally. Mr. Speaker, mine was to thank all the members, as I was replying, to say that we have an opportunity here. Even as other jurisdictions are presenting committees of the future, we as Parliament, before we decide to bring a committee of the future to this House, allow us to start by setting the pace, by establishing a science museum that becomes a repository for our African traditional and emerging technologies, to showcase them to the world, to preserve them, and to ensure that Africa does not remain as a scientific dwarf that it is referred to. Mr. Speaker, I thank you profusely. I also thank all the members who have contributed to this debate, and I also want to tell the members that the Science Museum, the establishment of a Science Museum bill is already in the works, and I shall be asking you to support it when it finally comes to the House. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable John Kiari. The question to the motion will be put the next time. It will be scheduled by the House Business Committee for the convenience of the House. Next order.
Order number 10, Committee of the Whole House.
Very well, members, you may take your places as we go into the Committee of the Whole House. We want to consider the Kenya Drugs Authority Bill, National Assembly Bill number 54 of 2022. This bill had been dealt with up to clause number 54, so we shall begin with clause 55. It had gone for winnowing as the instructions were given by the Speaker then, and I'm sure many concessions have been agreed upon by the Chair and the members who had amendments. And therefore, this should pave way for us to move much faster than we were moving when it appeared on the order paper. So we may proceed.
Clause 55.
I propose the question that clause 55 be part of the bill. Mover. Mover, I want you to be clear, not for the sake of only the House, but the public.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Chair, that clause 55 be amended as per the order paper. This is by deleting subclause 1 and sub 2, and therefore the following new subclause. The registrar shall keep in the prescribed form a register of all medical devices approved by the authority. This is to make provision.
Yes, what's the point of order, Honorable Millie?
Thank you, Chair. I would just want to request that to enable us to move fast, instead of reading, could the Chair just say as per the order paper, then we can follow, okay, instead of saying that it's amended and reads what's there as per the order paper.
I thought it should have been the other way, and that's why I told him, maybe you summarize, but you need to tell the public what we are doing, because it's a very important bill.
Thank you.
Proceed.
Thank you, Chair. This is mainly to make provision for the inclusion of the register of all medical devices as defined in Clause 2 and approved by the authority.
Very well, I now propose the question that Clause 55 be amended as proposed by the Chair. In the absence of any interests, I now put the question that Clause 55 be amended as proposed by the Chair. Will as many of that opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many as are contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that Clause 55 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many as are contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 56.
I propose the question that Clause 56 be part of the bill. Mover.
Honorable Chair, I propose that the Clause 56 be amended as by the order paper. This is to incorporate internationally accepted terminology and to redraft for proper grammatical flow. I think this is just straightforward.
I propose the question as that Clause 56 be amended as proposed by the mover or by the Chair. I now put the question that Clause 56 be amended as proposed by the Chair. Will as many as of that opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? I now put the question that Clause 56 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 57.
I propose the question that Clause 57 be part of the bill. Mover.
I propose, Honorable Chair, propose that Clause 57 be amended as per the order paper. This is to provide for penalty for the offense of deceptive labeling, packaging, and sale of medical devices. It's just fine.
I propose the question that Clause 57 be amended as proposed by the Chair. I now put the question that Clause 57 be amended as proposed by the Chair. Will as many of that opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that Clause 57 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 58.
I propose the question that Clause 58 be part of the bill. There's an amendment. Mover.
Honorable Chair, Clause 58, we have amendment to Clause 58A, B. I don't know whether I can prosecute all of them together or one.
Proceed.
Okay. So as per the order paper, in A, Honorable Chair, this will enable the country to comply with WHO standards on manufacturing, because this clause is the most recent WHO organization prescribed guidelines on good manufacturing practice. In B, Honorable Chair, by inserting the new subclause immediately after subclause 2, this to allow the authority to consult and receive advice from the Kenya Nuclear Regulatory Authority that exercises regulatory control over nuclear and radioactive materials and facilities under Section 6C1 of the Nuclear Regulatory Act number 29 of 2019. This is to require importers, distributors, or dealers to keep records of medical devices submitted to the authority. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
I now put the question that I now propose the question that clause 58 as amended be amended as proposed by the chair. I now put the question that clause 58 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 58 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 59.
I propose the question that clause 59 be part of the bill. Mover.
Honorable Chair, I propose that clause 59 be amended as per the order paper. This is to provide for the registration of establishments or medical devices by the authority. The amendment further seeks to amend subclause 3 for proper grammatical law and to provide a penalty for the offense of supply of unapproved medical devices. Thank you, Chair.
Yes, Honorable Daud.
Chair, in clause 57, it mentioned 2 million and 3.
No, we are now in
Yeah, I'm just referring to clause 57, where it says it was 2 million and 3 years. But in clause 59, now it comes to 1 year, 1 million and 2 years. So I find that it does not go together because it's regarding medical devices. Could the chair please explain further on that?
Hold your horses. Let me propose the question. I propose the question that clause 59 be amended as proposed by the chair. Honorable, you can now come up.
Thank you, Chair. I had initially wanted to comment on clause 57, but I think you didn't see my intervention. But I want the chair to now tell us between 57, clause 57, where he has amended to the fine to be 2 million and 3 years imprisonment, and it's the same medical devices we are talking about, and in clause 59, it's 1 million and 2 years imprisonment. So both these clauses, they're intertwined. So we need to now know exactly from the chair, what exactly is he intending to do with this?
Chair.
Honorable Chair, in 57, we are talking about a person who labels, packages, treats, processes, sells, or advertises. While in 59, we are talking about a person who sells, manufactures, packages, stores, or conveys for sale. So I think there are two different things that we are talking about.
Very well, Honorable Millie.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to thank the Chair because he's adopted my proposed amendments to that clause, but also just indicate that this proposed amendment is very good. It goes to some degree to help cases that we have seen where there's a lady who died because of botched performance of some beauty enhancing techniques. I'm just hoping that even as we go on, there will be provisions that actually criminalize the act, not just the supply and sales. I'm hoping that is there as well.
Very well. I now put the question that clause 59 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 59 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Title of Part 11.
I now propose the question that Part 11 be part of the bill. Mover.
Honorable Chair, I propose that new part be amended by inserting new part immediately after the new clause 59A, that is part 8, the National Pharmacovigilance
Order, Chair.
System.
Part 11 is actually the title.
Is it 11?
Yeah. Part 11, go to the order paper.
New part.
On the
11.
order paper, it's page
Yes, sir.
2,800.
Part 11 that will be amended in the title of Part 11 by deleting the expression Part 11 and substituting therefore the expression Part 9.
Very well. I now propose the question that Part 11 be amended as proposed by the Chair. I now put the question that Part 11 be amended as proposed by the Chair. Will as many of that opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 60.
I propose the question that Clause 60 be part of the bill. Mover?
Honorable Chair, I propose that Clause 60 be amended as per the order paper. This is establishment of the National Quality Control Laboratory of the authority. The authority, which shall be used as a facility under A, this is a supplement of National Quality Control Laboratory, under A, the examination and testing of health products and technologies, including vaccines and biopharmaceuticals, and any material or substance from or with which, and the manner in which drugs may be manufactured, processed, or treated, and ensuring the quality control of drugs and medical substances. The various functions are listed. I don't know whether I continue with B, C, D, E, and F.
No, let's deal with that one.
Or A, we deal with A.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Chair.
Because there's an amendment by Honorable Millie also on this, but there was a lot of winnowing. So I'm sure you have already, if the one by the Chair goes through, then the one of Honorable Millie falls. That is Clause 60. But let me prosecute the one for the Chair.
Thank you.
No order, Honorable Millie. Let me prosecute the one for the Chair, and let me propose first before you speak on this. I propose the question that Clause 60 be amended as proposed by the Chair. Honorable Millie.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, maybe I can just indicate this so that I don't have to speak here in after. Chair, if you notice, a lot of my amendments had to do with the inclusion of herbal medicine, which I'd actually spoken to on in the previous motion, that I think we need to include our herbal medicine. Having gone through the winnowing process, the Chair convinced me that we will be bringing a separate bill that takes into account the issues of herbal medicine. So I dropped all my amendments, so I really don't have any further amendments to this bill. Thank you.
Very well. But let me hear Honorable first before we listen to the Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I would want to try to convince the mover, the Chair Health, on number five, where it says the Director of the National Quality Control Laboratory shall be registered pharmacist and shall possess a master's degree in a science-related field from a recognized university.
Order, Honorable Dowd. We are not yet on
We are not there?
I
thought it's okay.
We are on A. Very well. Proceed, Chair, and make a comment.
Honorable Chair, I want to confirm to Honorable Millie Odhiambo, the minority whip, that the bill on traditional herbal medicine is already with the Speaker. It's already with the Speaker. Yes.
Yes, Honorable Kaluma.
Chair, so that we move expeditiously, may I also inform the Chair and the House that all the amendments under my name on the order paper went through winnowing and were agreed to be dropped. I therefore withdraw them whenever they come up so that we can expeditiously move with the Chair of the committee on the amendments agreed during that harmonization process with the committee.
And then let me just take
And Honorable Chair, let me also thank the Chair for that bill he has mentioned will be coming on traditional medicine. There is a lot in that area in terms of scientific knowledge that Honorable Millie was talking about, which we are losing when our older members of society pass on. My own mother is a traditional, herbalist. I told you, Chair, this thing women are calling fibroids, you see them going for surgery. My mother just needs to give you a glass or two of a herb and you're
done. Did you say herbalist or magician?
No. Herbalist.
No, thank you.
Herbalist. And it works very well. My own grandfather, Honorable Chair, you must have seen some scar on my leg here, was bitten by a pufferder. And the bark of a tree was just chipped and put there, and it sucked all the poison. We lost all that when my grandfather died. So I'm very grateful.
Point of information.
Only if Honorable Kaluma will be willing to be informed.
Honorable
Kaluma, do you want to be informed?
Okay, inform me.
On Millie, precisely.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, actually, there's a member, I don't know which member was saying this off record, that is that magician or herbalist. And Chair, because I actually did this at a master's level, that sometimes we discredit ourselves as Africans when the knowledge we have on herbs, which actually forms the basis for most medicines worldwide, when it is done by the West, it is medicine. When it is done by us, it is magic. It is not magic. It is science. It is traditional science. So the knowledge Honorable Kaluma's mother has is science. It's indigenous knowledge that we have not packaged in fancy words. And that is why I'm very keen on herbal medicine.
So, Honorable Chair, the point was that all my amendments in the order paper,
yes,
for purposes of clarity and expedition, are hereby formally withdrawn so that we can move and pass this law.
Thank you. And I wanted to bring in Honorable Dawood, but before then, let me hear from the leader, or majority leader.
Honorable Chair, and I want the attention of the Honorable Kaluma, the Honorable Ochieng. I want to inform Kaluma one thing. You see, when Kaluma says his mother is a traditional herbal, it's not traditional, it's herbal. You know, that herbal tree today exists, and your mother can go and pick it today. It is not traditional. The knowledge could be traditional.
So the semantics.
But the medicine is herbal. The Chinese today are selling herbal medicine all over.
Very well.
You
You've
but
made
we
your
cannot
point.
put that of your mother in a shop because we have called it traditional. So I think we need to give it its right place.
Thank you, leader. Your
it's
point
herbal,
is made.
not traditional.
Your point is made. Let's make progress. To bring in Hondood, Chair, could you speak on all those amendments in clause 60? Chair, speak on all the amendments in clause 60. Yes, so that Dawood can then come in, and then we seal it.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Chair, in clause 60, I want to amend as per the order paper. In 61, this is establishment of the National Quality Control Laboratory of the authority, which its functions as defined as per the order paper. And then in 2, the National Quality Control Laboratory shall be the quality control laboratory of health products and technologies for the authority. In 3, the board shall appoint a director of the National Quality Control Laboratory who shall be responsible to the authority for the day-to-day management of the National Quality Control Laboratory. In 4, the director of the National Quality Control Laboratory shall hold office on such terms and conditions of service as may be specified in the instrument of appointment by the board. In 5, the director of the National Quality Control Laboratory shall be a registered pharmacist and shall possess a master's degree in science-related field from a recognized university. Then in C, the director of the National Quality Control Laboratory, his functions are given as per the order paper. In 7, the funds of the authority used for management of the National Quality Control Laboratory shall consist of monies received or recovered under the part and portion of the monies appropriated by the National Assembly to the authority. 8, subject to Section 7, the monies generated by the National Quality Control Laboratory in the course of the performance of its functions under this section shall be solely expended on the laboratory. Honorable Chair, the National Quality Control Laboratory, headed by a director appointed by the authority to become a regulatory laboratory of the authority, is a recommendation of the WHO so that the country can achieve maturity level 3. To ring-fence monies from the laboratory such that monies generated by the laboratory shall be solely expended on the laboratory, and the authority ought to give a portion of the monies appropriated to it by Parliament to the laboratory. Thank you, Chair.
Very well, Hon Daud.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, my concern was in 5, where I was requesting the Chair, if he can do a further amendment, remove the master's degree, because a pharmacist is a pharmacist, and I think that's good enough, because you do not become a pharmacist so easily. So if the master's degree can be removed from this, I would appreciate. And the last one would be 8, where the money is ring-fenced. That's a very good idea. But Chair, it may need to be changed in the finance, in the way the Financing Act is, because A&A has to be deposited and be approved to be used. So I'm not very sure about 8, if it is possible to be, it can be done. The last one was regarding Honorable Kaluma, the one he was talking about traditional medicine and that, herbal. Ayurveda in India is the biggest thing in the world. So herbal medicine is the way to go.
Very well. Oh, let's hear from Honorable Makali.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. I also wanted to comment on the issue of the financing of the authority. And I totally agree with what Honorable Daud has said. It will not be fair just to ring-fence the resources through this act, because we also have the Public Finance Management Act, which allows on how to spend resources which have been collected by authorities. But I thought the best way would have been a situation where you just make this authority independent, so that whatever resources they collect, they're able to use it without getting money from the exchequer, because that will make it very complicated. Once you start saying the National Assembly will also be appropriating resources for them, it means now we are going back to the consolidated fund. How I wish you made them be self-financing. In that case, you sort a lot of issues to do with regulations. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Finally, on the same, Elachi, Honorable Elachi.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I also just want to ask the Chair to really help us, because one of the challenges we are facing, and where we've lost women for the last 2 months, Chair, is on issue of quality on management in plastic surgery and cosmetic manufacturing. And so when we bulk them with huge words, this is how, again, we end up finding ourselves losing just one thing. So in A or B or C, there is need to just put it black and white. You either call it plastic, you either call it cosmetic manufacturing, but let it be there for the purposes of the late Lucy and the owner of Miale and the wife of the PA of Natembea. All of them have lost lives in a few weeks just because of that, Mr. Speaker. And may they rest in peace.
Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Just to make a comment on what Honorable Elijah has raised, is that we've actually summoned the medical practitioners and dentist council in relation to the recent incident. Because apparently from information we have is that that facility is a level 2 facility, which is not licensed to do cosmetic surgery. So we must be able to make sure that the right facility is the one offering the various services. So we are on top of that. And if you have time, tomorrow the CS and the CEO will be appearing before the health committee. You can join us for any clarifications. And just to come back on this, Honorable Dawood, the minimum requirement we've already said is just a degree in pharmacy. But we have to raise the level, because just having a degree alone is not enough. So we are saying a master's in a related field, so that you can have a master's in management, you can have a master's in other areas within that can be able to assist you in managing it. And when you read about the funds, we are saying that the funds to be used for the management of the National Quality Control shall consist of monies received, that is monies received or recovered under this part and portion of the monies appropriated by the National Assembly to the authority. So the National Assembly we are not closing it from appropriation. It's appropriating to the authority, and the authority can give that money to the National Quality Control Laboratory, which shall be the laboratory of the authority. Thank you, Chair.
Very well. I now put the question that clause 60 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as of that opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 60 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 61.
I propose the question that clause 61 be part of the bill. Mover?
Honorable Chair, I propose that clause 61 be amended as per the order paper. This is for compliance with the WHO guidelines, which requires that a certificate of analysis should be issued by a person capable of ensuring the authenticity of the test samples. Thank you, Chair.
Very well. I propose the question that clause 61 be amended as proposed by the mover. I now put the question that clause 61 be amended as proposed by the mover. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 61 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Part 12.
I propose the question that part 12 be part of the bill. Mover?
Honorable Chair, I propose that part 12 be amended as per the order paper. This is just to correct a minor error in numbering of the parts of the bill.
I propose the question that part 12 be amended as proposed by the mover. I now put the question that part 12 be amended as proposed by the mover. Will as many as of that opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 62.
I propose the question that clause 62 be part of the bill. There's no amendment on this one. I now put the question that clause 62 be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 63.
I propose the question that clause 63 be part of the bill. There are several amendments. Mover.
Honorable Chair, clause 63A be amended as per the order paper. This is to harmonize the terms used in the bill with the title of the bill as proposed for amendment.
Please deal with all of them.
Then in B, this is to include enroll pharmaceutical technologies as part of persons who are covered under the provided defense in relation to offenses as regards prohibition of advertisements on diseases listed in the 6th schedule.
Very well, I propose the question that clause 63 be amended as proposed by the chair. Yes, Honorable Dawood.
I support this amendment because pharmaceutical technologies had been forgotten for a long time, and I thank the chair in inserting pharmaceutical technologies. Thank you.
You are in agreement? Yes, Honorable Watch.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I propose that clause 63(3) be amended as per the order paper. And the reason for this is that the provision thereon is redundant, as the same is already provided under Part 5 of the bill.
Honorable Watch, I hope you are not dealing with your amendment. Are you? Because I will bring you on after
Later,
we
thank
finish
you. All right,
with
let
the
me resume my
chair.
seat.
We have you on table here. Very well. I now put the question that clause 63 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Now we bring on Anthony.
Thank you, Chair. I now propose that clause 63(3) be amended as per the order paper, and seeing that there is concurrence from the chair.
Amended as proposed by Honorable Oluoch. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 63 as amended
Clause 64.
I propose the question that clause 64 be part of the bill. Chair, I think there's an amendment on this.
Yes. Honorable Chair, I propose that clause 64 be amended as per the order paper. This is just to harmonize the terms used in the bill with the title of the bill as proposed for amendment.
I propose the question that clause 64 be amended as proposed by the chair. I now put the question that clause 64 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 64 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 65.
I propose the question that clause 65 be part of the bill. Mover.
Honorable Chair, I propose that clause 65 be amended as per the order paper. This is just to ensure objectivity.
I propose the question that clause 65 be amended as proposed by the mover. I now put the question that clause 65 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 65 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 66.
I propose the question that clause 66 be part of the bill. Mover.
Honorable Chair, I propose that clause 66 be amended as per the order paper in A to harmonize the terms used in the bill with the title of the bill as proposed for amendment, and in B to include enroll pharmaceutical technologies as part of persons who are covered under the provided defense in relation to offenses as regards prohibition of advertisements on on abortion and false or misleading advertisements.
Very well, I propose the question that clause 66 be amended as proposed by the chair. On Dode.
I thank the chair for putting the pharmaceutical technologies. That's what I had asked him for earlier, and he has done that. Thank you.
Very well, you are in agreement. I now put the question that clause 66 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as members without opinion say aye? Aye. Will as members of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 66 as amended be part of the bill. Will as members without opinion say aye? Aye. Will as members of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 67.
I propose the question that clause 67 be part of the bill. Mover.
Honorable Chair, I propose that clause 67 be amended as per the order paper in A, B, and C, and this is just to harmonize the terms used in the bill with the title of the bill as proposed for amendment, and in D, to harmonize the terms used in the bill with the title of the bill as proposed for amendment, and this is to make the fines payable commensurate to the offenses relating to labeling of health products and technologies containing medicine.
Very well, I propose the question that clause 67 be amended as proposed by the mover. I now put the question that clause 67 be amended as proposed by the mover. Will as many as without opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 67 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as without opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 68.
I propose the question that clause 68 be part of the bill. Mover. There's no amendment on this one and no interest on this one. I therefore put the question that clause 68 be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Very well, I hear there are amendments on this one. And there's a deletion. Chair, you may have moved us a little bit faster. We go back. This lawmaking process. Clause 68.
I've seen it. My apologies.
And therefore, let me propose the question that clause 68 be part of the bill. Mover.
I propose that clause 68 be amended as per the order paper. It is preferable, this is deletion, preferable to make provision for valid exemptions through regulation as opposed to providing defenses for offenses relating to labeling of medicines.
Very well. Makali, do you have an interest on this? You raised. But before that, I propose the question that clause 60, 68 be deleted as proposed by the chair. Hall Makali.
No, actually, Honorable Chairperson, I didn't have an issue. I was raising a point of order relating to the fact that there's an amendment.
We thank you
because
for
the chair
that.
said there was no amendment.
Thank you. I now put the question that clause 68 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 69.
I propose the question that clause 69 be part of the bill. Mover.
I propose that clause 69 be amended as per the order paper. This is to harmonize the terms used in the bill with the title of the bill as proposed for amendment.
I propose the question that clause 69 be amended as proposed by the chair. I now put the question that clause 69 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 69 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Part 13.
I propose the question that part 13 be part of the bill. Mover.
I propose that part 13 be amended as per the order paper. This is to correct minor error in numbering of the parts of the bill.
I put the question. I propose the question that part 13 be amended as proposed by the mover. I now put the question that part 13 be amended as proposed by the mover. Will as many as without opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 70.
I propose the question that clause 70 be part of the bill. There seems to be no amendment on this one, Chair. I therefore proceed to put the question that clause 70 be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 71.
I propose the question that clause 71 be part of the bill. Mover.
I propose that clause 71 be amended by the order paper this is to harmonize the terms used in the bill with the title of the bill as proposed for amendment.
I propose the question that clause 71 be amended as proposed by the mover. I now put the question that clause 71 be amended as proposed by the mover. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 71 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 72.
I propose the question that clause 72 be part of the bill. Mover, and deal with all of them.
I propose that clause 72 be amended as per the order paper in A, to harmonize the terms used in the bill with the title of the bill as proposed for amendment, and in B, to make a provision for supply of health products and technologies during emergency situations. The amendment also seeks to ensure the supply of health products and technologies shall only be undertaken by registered pharmacists.
I propose the question that clause 73 be amended as proposed. I propose the question that clause 72 be amended as proposed by the mover. Yes, Honorable Makali. No, Makali first.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, I really want to commend the Chair for this requirement that we need a registered pharmacist and not any person. That is very important, I support.
On Dode.
Chair, I do not support this one. I would want a further amendment where it says registered pharmacists and a pharmaceutical technologist, because, Chair, what happens is most of the pharmacies in our country are manned by pharmaceutical technologists. We do not have enough pharmacists in this country, and most of the pharmacies are manned by pharmaceutical technologists. If we do not put that amendment there, then I'm afraid we will be closing a lot of pharmacies in this country. So I beseech the Chair, if it is possible, we can add to the pharmacists, pharmaceutical technologists, Chair.
Very
now
well.
I would ask...
On Dawood, we have heard you. Very well, Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. I think on that clause 72, the information here we need to know...
Order, Honorable Dawood, you may take your seat. That's there.
Just on a point of information on this point, the issue is not because we want to lock out our pharmaceutical technologists. It's because it's an international requirement of WHO. The World Health Organization expects us to have this amendment in order for us to be compliant with the international standards. Because if we leave it as it is now, what will happen is Kenya is allowed, Kenya wants to be a pharmaceutical manufacturing country for export. We are not able to export to the larger markets like the Americas and Europe and so on, and the rest of Africa, if we don't meet international standards. So this is just to meet under international standards. And if you see, this particular house did reduce the duties and taxes on anyone manufacturing in Kenya. And that is because we wanted to encourage manufacturers to come to Kenya. We want to become a manufacturing country instead of being a net importer. And therefore, at the moment, the pharmaceutical companies that are manufacturing in Kenya can only sell to Somalia and Burundi. So we need, as a country, to make this amendment in order to attain maturity level 3. The best would be to attain maturity level 4. So in order to do that, this amendment is an imperative. Already we've been overtaken by Rwanda, which has achieved maturity level 3, by Tanzania. So we are going to be locked out of manufacturing in the industry. So it's not because we have anything against our farm techs. It is just that this is a requirement of the World Health Organization so that we can meet international standards. And in any case, our pharmaceutical technologists will still be able to conduct the business, except that there is a certain level pharmaceuticals or drugs that they cannot dispense. And this is a standard rule. Even currently as it is, there is some medications that pharmacists cannot dispense without a prescription from a doctor. So there are some medicines that can be sold over the counter, and there are others that cannot be sold over the counter, that you need a prescription. So that is WHO rules. So let us help this country. We are 2 years behind. These are some of the things that we should have done immediately we came into parliament, because we kept saying that we want Kenya to be a manufacturing country.
Very well.
And so it is an imperative for our own economic development. In fact, those farm techs are the ones who will benefit by being hired in those manufacturing plants. Thank you.
Very well.
Honorable Chair.
I know it has been your pet subject, and it's the core of this bill. No, we are bringing you, Chair. You don't have to be in a hurry. So let me just hear Makali in 1 minute. Please, Makali.
Thank you. I think following up on what the Deputy Speaker has said, it is important to get it right, because in the earlier clauses, we've really used a lot of pharmacists and pharmaceutical technologists. The reason why I didn't raise that matter personally is because I thought this particular clause addresses a higher level than what the Speaker has said. So if what the Speaker has said is right, then it means we might not be achieving the objective she's mentioning in our description.
Very well, and that provides a very good platform for the Chair to speak on that. Chair, proceed.
Chair, in the this is a WHO requirement, as the Deputy Speaker has put it. And we are talking about here handling of in case of emergencies. When we talk about emergencies, we are talking of an outbreak of, let's say we had the other day, an outbreak of COVID-19. Under that circumstance, the requirement is higher, that somebody who will be able to handle it must be a registered pharmacist. So we cannot just, I think that is where we allowed the other parts, but on this one, yes, thank you.
No, Hondo is with you after the Deputy Speaker spoke on this, but I hope you have also satisfied Hondo. Very well, very well. I now put the question that clause 72 be amended as proposed by the Chair. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 72 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 73.
I propose the question that clause 73 be part of the bill. Mover.
Honorable Chair, I propose that clause 73 be amended as per the order paper. This is to harmonize the terms used in the bill with the title of the bill as proposed for amendment.
I propose the question that clause 73 be amended as proposed by the mover. I now put the question that clause 73 be amended as proposed by the mover. Will as many as of that opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 73 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses 74, 75, 76, 77, and 78.
I propose the question that clauses 74, 75, 76, 77, and 78 be part of the bill. There are no amendments on these ones. I now put the question that clauses 74, 76, I'll take it again. I now put the question that clauses 74, 75, 76, 77, and 78 be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
79.
I propose the question that clause 79 be part of the bill. Mover.
I propose that clause 79 be amended as per the order paper. This is intended for 79 is deleted, the functions of inspection of animals which are intended for slaughter and is outside the regulatory of this purview. Those are veterinary functions.
I propose the question that clause 79 be amended as proposed by the mover. Honorable Makali.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. Honorable Chairperson, this clause is a very important clause because what it is doing is actually trying to demand that before any health product or technology is brought to this country, there is inspection and verification, which is critical. But I'm a bit worried about the penalty in case you go against that. That is the part 3 of it, where the penalty is only $1 million or 2 years imprisonment. I wish the chair could actually make this more serious than it is now. Because if you have brought such a technology to the country, and then it is harmful to our people, I think $1 million is too little in terms of penalty. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Honorable Dawood.
Chair, one where it says a health product, where it is inspected on arrival at pre-inspection. Could we not have had it before even it leaves the port where it is coming from? It's inspected like the way vehicles are inspected overseas. So wouldn't it be even, it would be double, that it would be inspected from the port which it is leaving and again be inspected at the port it is coming to. So, you know, you have got double inspections.
Of course, yes, Chair. No, but let's hear from the order. Okay, let's get your guidance.
What I'm deleting, Chair, is clause 79, which talks about a regulatory officer may, for the purpose of this act, inspect any animal intended for slaughter and may seize and examine any meat which the regulatory officer considers to be unfit for consumption. That is a veterinary function which I have deleted. And now we have a new clause, 79. I don't know whether I should read it for the second reading or I just needed the guidance because I explained myself to that function which we are deleting.
Not for now, but let's hear from Honorable Elachi.
Thank you, Chair. I now agree with the Chair because I was wondering now what he was deleting is okay, yes, but now when you come and you just deal with now only the health products and you forget also we need also our animals to be part of this inspection, then we find ourselves again in some crisis that will come at a time for those who normally bring in also animals and also for those who export meat or something. So we have to be very clear, even as we say, a person who imports is not just importing, but also exporting, because we are saying we are also becoming manufacturers and we shall be exporting. So we have to be clear on that. The other thing, I want to agree with Dawood that indeed from the origin is where we start this inspection. Because this is how we've ended up, Chair, with so much challenges in terms of especially the antibiotics that we have today in our country. Thank you, Chair.
Very well, Chair. First, to give you direction, the clause we are dealing with is you are deleting and replacing. So it's not a complete new clause. We shall deal with new clauses later. We were still going to give you a chance. So please speak on all the things members have said and explain yourself.
Honorable Chair, with now the replacement, this new clause on inspection and verification of health products and technologies at the ports of entry enables the authority to enforce compliance with the prescribed standards of quality, safety, and efficacy of health products and technologies before release at the ports of entry, so as to prevent concealment, misdeclaration, diversion, and cross-border smuggling of health products and technologies. Thank you, Chair.
Very well. Members are still not satisfied with the issue of penalty. Chair. In 1 minute.
In 3, a person who commits an offense under this section shall, on conviction, be liable to a fine not exceeding 1 million shillings or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 2 years or to both. Is
Very
the
well.
penalty too lenient?
Very well.
Allow for a further amendment to that.
But at least
we make it 2 million? Then may I speak, Chair, that
there are dissenting voices on this one.
I want to allow them to propose a further amendment.
Chair, take your seat. Let's hear from Honorable. I want to get the comment from Honorable, my colleague in the teaching profession. Proceed, Dorothy.
Thank you, Chair. I agree with Honorable Makari that this crime is so serious, it should attract more penalty, and I propose that we go to 3 million and 3 years or both. Yes, when the crime is committed, that's my proposal.
Very
Chair.
well, Honorable Dawood.
I would propose 2 million and 3 years because it's already in the medical devices, we already had that kind of penalty. Okay. So, Chair, I would propose 2 million and 3 years because even in medical devices, we had the same punishment. So at least it looks standard.
Very well, at least you have a rationale. Let's hear the Honorable. Oh. That's Honorable who? Wanyonyi, Kwanza constituency. Give him a mic. Give him any mic around that place. And in 1 minute, Honorable.
Chair, I think this is, we are dealing with the people who are doing business. And when you put it like 3 million shillings as a businessman, you can find your way out. I think, to me, this is a very serious case. We can make it 5 million and 5 years. Because these are businessmen, and you can be able to move around. What's 3 million shillings for businessmen?
Very well, Honorable Wanyonyi. We have heard you on your figure.
We should do that.
Chair, please. Now rest this matter, Chair.
Chair, a person who commits, I want to do a further amendment to 79.3, that a person who commits an offense under this section shall on conviction be liable to a fine not exceeding 3 million shillings or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 2 years or to both.
Very well. I now put the question that clause 79 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 79 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, because of the constraints of time, and let me call the mover so that we may report progress. Mover.
Honorable Chairperson, I beg to move that the committee to report to the House its consideration of the Kenya Drugs Authority Bill, National Assembly Bill number 54, 2022, up to clause 79, and its approval thereof with amendments, and seek leave to see it again.
Very well, honorable members. I now put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Kenya Drugs Authority Bill, National Assembly Bill number 54 of 2022, up to clause 79, and its approval thereof, with amendments, and seek leave to sit again. As many as of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Chairperson.
Very well, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the Kenya Drugs Authority Bill, National Assembly Bill number 54 of 2022, up to clause 79 and approved the same with amendments and seek leave to sit again.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I also request Honorable Jesse Lelmengit to second the motion for agreement with the report of the committee of the whole House.
Honorable Speaker, I second. Thank you.
Honorable members, I now propose the question, which is the House do agree with the committee in the said report. We shall put the question at a later time. And honorable members, the time now being 1 p.m. and 3 minutes, this House stands adjourned. Sorry, let me take that again. Honorable members, and the time being 1 and 4 minutes and 5 seconds p.m., this House stands adjourned until today, Wednesday, 6th November 2024 at 2:30 p.m.
This is Clergy TV. Arise, shine.
Do you wish to live in a state-of-the-art modern home with schools nearby, a supermarket and police station both at a close proximity? Bella Rose Apartments got you covered. We're located at Kileleshwa on Othaya Road next to Holy Trinity Church. It's a 6-story building with 2 apartments on each floor, both having 3-bedroom suites and a DSQ, a functional elevator, 24-hour CCTV surveillance, an electric fence with a security guard, public transport right in front of the building, a spacious car park, and an opportunity of great view of the estate through the balcony and the laundry of each apartment. Bella Rose Apartments, you will love it. Contact us through 0722 559568. Bella Rose Apartments, dream house into reality.
Welcome to Shiloh College, a globally recognized institution under the Private Career Colleges Act of 2005, Canada Federal Letters Patent, and endorsed by the Ministry of Training, Colleges, and Universities. Our presence spans across the Americas, Europe, the Caribbean, Bahamas, and Africa. Under the leadership of Professor William Commando, Shiloh College transcends traditional educational methods. Our faculty are experts in their fields and also serve as mentors, creating a supportive environment for students to excel both academically and personally. Kenya campus, located in Nairobi, embodies our unique approach to education. Dr. Michuki, a leader with diverse roles including President of Clergy TV Kenya, oversees